This course is presented to you free of charge by TTJ Tech Services of www.ttjtech.biz and by Stir It Up of www.stiritup.com. And remember, stir is spelled with a U, not an I, so that's STURITUP.com. TTJ Tech Services and Stir It Up are pleased to offer this course to you to the glory of God and to the benefit of all those who listen. Well, praise God, and welcome to another iPad for All computing session number 10, and we are excited to get started. We're going to have an experience lab today, and the purpose of this experience lab is to allow you to practice sending and reading email, and perhaps you may want to try creating a mailbox or enabling some of the smart mailboxes that we discussed on Monday, but we'll be coming back to that in a moment. Before we do that, I'd like to just go back to this more advanced area of mail that we were talking about at the very, very end of our session from Monday. And if you need to review that, of course, it is on our podcast. And when we have that all posted, praise God, so you can go back and listen. But at the end, we were talking about how it's possible to get your own domain for email, how it's possible to create your own mailboxes and mail rules. I described to you that you can actually create custom mailboxes and then create mail rules that will automatically sort your mail into those mailboxes. And so I'm going to play a recording that Trainer Cliff made. Now, we actually used this back in our iPhone class. So if he refers to the iPhone, just know that that, of course, transfers over to the iPad. And I think most of you already know that, but I just thought I'd point that out. And if he says to, go back, it may not really be back. In some cases, it may, but in others, it may be left side versus right side of the screen. So I'm going to use the same recording because the general information is relevant. And so I'd like you to listen to Trainer Cliff describing the mail settings when it comes to creating these mailboxes and mail rules and some other things related to that. One thing he may touch on briefly, I don't remember, but I sort of think he touched briefly on mail categories. That's a new feature that Apple introduced on the iPhone back in the fall. It's not yet on the iPad, but it is coming. And you can either use it or you can ignore it. But for right now, you don't have it on your iPad. So you can ignore the part about mail categories for now. And later when it comes, if we need to, we'll review that. I'm going to do a screen share here so that you can hear Trainer Cliff's recording. So again, I'm going to ask you please not to swipe away from the Zoom app. That screen recording will start right about now. And let us play Trainer Cliff's recording in just a moment. I apologize for the puppy barking there, but you won't even hear that as soon as I start this because I'll mute and you'll just hear Trainer Cliff, and then I'll be back afterwards. See you in a few minutes.
Stir it up. Today we're going to talk about filtering, sorting, adjusting, whatever you want to call it, email into folders. Now this is something that has to be done on your provider. Today I'm going to show you iCloud, but if you want to do it through Gmail, I actually think you can do it through the app. Don't quote me on that because I don't use Gmail. Outlook, theirs has to be done on their web interface, but when it's done, it's done. You don't know, you never have to do it again unless you want to adjust the way the rules, filters, whatever are done. If you got a new sender or receiving mail from somebody different, then you have to go in there and adjust it that way. But once you set them, they're done. So let's go into my mail.
Utilities folder. Media. Find a communication folder.
As you can see, my apps are organized by folder, not 18 apps where I have to use Spotlight. I hate Spotlight.
Phone. Messages. 2. Mail. No unread emails.
Now, it says I have no emails, which is not necessarily true. The new iOS filtered emails. Here, let me show you.
Mail.
Says I have no new mail, but I'll show you.
iCloud. Select button. More button. Inbox. Search. Search field. Dictate button. Messages. Primary.
You got primary,
Actions available. Transactions.
transactions,
Updates.
updates,
Promotions.
promotions.
Selected. All mail.
And I have
Actions
all
available.
those unselected so I can see all mail. But look at this.
Unread. Laura. Joy Food Sunshine.
See, I have a new mail.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
And it's just one new message, but the badge item didn't tell me that. Now, had you listened to Trainer Matt open up his email account, you might have heard 150, 350, depending on what day it was. It might have been 850 unread emails. He doesn't sort his email the same way I do, although he has a method and he will show that to you. It's called smart mailboxes with flags and tags and attachments and today and stuff like that. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about sorting mails directly into folders. So let's show you my folders first.
iCloud. Back button. Mailbox.
So-
Cliff. Start private mail. iCloud. Button. Expanded.
All right, you hear it say expanded.
Actions
So
available.
this is the root of my iCloud. So we're going to go through these folders.
Inbox. Button. Drafts. 1 unread. Sent. Button. Junk. Button. Trash. Button.
All right, those are all the default folders
Actions
that
available.
can't be deleted, moved, or modified. So next is going to be my custom folders that I have created.
Archive. Button. Apple Everything. 3 unread messages. Button.
All right, you see it said 3 on messages. Now, that's where everything groups.io goes, and it's mostly Apple stuff. Actually, it is all Apple stuff, so that's why I call it Apple Everything.
Bills. Button.
That's where I have all my utilities,
Actions available.
bills, go, and receipts and things of that nature.
Devotionals. 2 unread messages. Button.
That's where all my daily devotionals go from different pastors and churches and writers. They all go there.
Domain tasks. 1 unread message. Button.
This is my
Actions available.
domain. I call it my domain tasks folder, but this is where my stir it up email goes. Anything that comes to that's addressed to stiritup.com goes to this folder.
Google Groups. 34 unread messages. Button.
Google Groups, that's where all my Google Groups things go.
Legal. 1 unread message. Office materials. 2 unread messages. Button.
I was recently in an
Actions
office
available.
class and I wanted to sort all that stuff into a different folder, so that's where all my office stuff went.
Receipts. 12 unread messages. Button.
And as you see, I have a receipts folder. Whenever I ride my door-to-door service, Cat Metro Access, or get something from Logitech, Apple, whatever, this is where it goes.
Recipes. 282 unread messages. Button.
I think that one's pretty self-explanatory.
Actions available. Streams. Button.
This is my streaming folder.
Actions
This is
available.
where I used to have all the email go that for my streaming services: Max, Paramount Plus, Netflix, Disney Plus, and Hulu. Which are either one of those I don't have anymore. Don't use them, so I didn't resubscribe. Even with the Black Friday deal that they have, 99 cents a year, or 99 cents a month for a year, and $3 to add on Disney Plus. So I just didn't feel the need to spend it anymore.
Tech priority. Button.
Now, this is the folder that
Actions
we're going to
available.
focus on, called Tech Priority, because we're going to sort Pastor Matt's email in here, because we don't like him, and we want his mail to be away from everybody else's. Nah, I'm joking. I love Matt is my other brother from another mother, just like my mentor, friend, and lifelong Mac trainer, the late, great John Panarese. Rest in peace. Anyway, so this is my folder structure. So, in order to sort your mail, you're gonna have to go. Now, let me take a step back. There's been some emails flying around for the last couple of months telling people that you cannot sort iCloud. Now, listen to me. iCloud mail directly from your devices. And that's absolutely not true. The method that I'm about to show you, you can do on your iPad and your and your iPhone, iOS. On the Mac, I have not found where to do this at yet, so you do still have to go to Safari on there. But on iOS or iPhone and iPad, you can absolutely do this. You can set it and forget it. You can go and modify any way you want to. So if you see on a list that somebody says you can't sort iCloud mail on your device, that is just not true. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our settings,
Mail, no unread email. Doc, utilities folder, 32
which is in my utilities menu.
utilities folder, 32 apps.
Utilities folder, excuse me.
Settings,
There it is.
settings,
And what I'm going to have to do is I have to go to my name, which is where my iCloud account is now called. It is now.
Clifton Miller Sr., Apple account, iCloud Plus, and more, button.
Alright, you heard it. There's double tap.
Selected, Clifton Miller Sr., iCloud, 2 TB, button.
Now what I'm looking, well, it actually, that's a little scary. This thing jumped down to the exact setting that I needed to go to, but let me show you what else you have to pass by to get to it.
Settings, back button, Apple account, heading, contact photo, button. Clifton Miller Sr. Cliff@storytop.com. Personal information, button. Sign in and security, button. Payment and shipping, must, subscriptions, button. iCloud, 2 TB, button.
Alright, and that's where I need to go. But you saw that you had the sign in security, your Apple account, and I think if you keep on going, it says subscriptions and stuff. Stuff that Trainer Matt has already gone over with you, so we don't need to touch on that.
iCloud Plus, heading.
Alright, so you go in here, you heard it say iCloud Plus, and let me be clear. You cannot have iCloud Plus features, which is your own domain, private relay, and a couple other things that I can't think of off the top of my head, unless you subscribe to iCloud Plus, which is a plan that's 99 cents or more. You can get 50 gigabytes for 99 cents a month. You can get 200 for $2.99, and I think it jumps all the way up to 2 terabytes, 4 terabytes, 6, and then 12 terabytes respectively. So remember, no iCloud Plus features without paying for the monthly subscription.
Clifton Miller Sr. iCloud, image. Image, white text, manage storage, button.
I can manage my storage, but what I'm looking for is mail rules. So let's jump all the way down there.
iCloud backup, 1 day ago. Mail, 65.7 megabytes, button.
Alright, there we go. We want mail.
iCloud mail.
And you heard it say iCloud mail. So no, I'm not sorting Gmail. I'm not sorting Outlook. I'm not sorting Yahoo, AT&T, or Comcast. This is just iCloud mail.
Use your existing iCloud mail account on this iPhone or set up a free opening double quotation mark at iCloud.com email address. Learn more. Link.
Alright, that's pretty self-explanatory. We just opened up mail, and here we are. And here are your features swiping from the left to the right.
iCloud mail. Heading. iCloud mail. Use your existing iCloud mail. Use on this iPhone. Switch button. On. Account information. Heading. Default email. Cliff@store. Addresses. 5. Button.
Alright, it says addresses 5 because I have aliases attached to this. But let's just keep going.
Auto reply. Off. Button.
Don't want to auto reply.
iCloud mail rules. 32. Button.
There we go. iCloud mail rules. You heard us say 32, so let's go in here.
Move messages from contact@growthtrack.com to devotionals folder. Button.
So you just heard it say move messages addressed to and this, but that's basically how you set the rules up.
Move messages from crosswalkmail.com to devotionals. Move messages from email at email.familiarlife.com to move messages from groups IO to Apple Everything folder. Button.
There you go.
Actions
So,
available.
You heard it say move messages from groups.io to Apple Everything folder. That's how I have that rule set up. So basically, let's just show you a rule.
Only the first matching rule will be applied to each message as it arrives. It may take a few minutes for changes to take effect.
That means if you accidentally create a second rule with the second set of attributes, it's always going to look at the first one. But let's go create a new rule.
Add rule. Button.
There we go. Add rule.
Cancel. Button. Add rule. Heading. Done. Dimmed. Button. Rule name. Text field.
Alright, you can name it. We're going to name this one TTJ.
Keyboard visible.
I guess that makes him famous or something.
Keyboard hidden. TTJ. Misspelled.
Alright. Then we're going to go over to the next attribute.
Message. Is from. Button.
Is It says message is from, but let's go in here and look at the choices.
Is selected. Has cap. Q. Has listed containing. Button.
Has list containing.
Has subject containing. Button.
Has subject containing.
Has listed containing. Button. Has is addressed or CC to. Button.
Is addressed or CC to. That means it'll look directly at the CC or carbon copy field.
Is CC to. Button.
CC, same thing. It's going to look at the carbon copy field, but it's looking for specific addresses.
Is addressed to. Button.
Is addressed to.
Selected. Is from. Button.
Let's go back to this. Is addressed to.
Is addressed to. Button.
So that means, say you and your wife, brother, sister share the email account, and the email address specifically, or not address, but it has your name specifically in the subject or the title. It's gonna look for that there. That's not the one that I use. I use this one that's already selected.
Selected. Is from. Button.
Is from. So, and it's already selected, so I'll just double tap there.
Text field. Is editing. TTJ. Character mode. Insertion point at end. Message. Is from. Button.
That was the title again, so.
Name or email address. Text field.
Name or email address. So, this is where we're gonna type.
Insertion point
The
at end.
name or email address or domain. So, think about it. I manage like 4 groups.io groups. So when I did that rule for the Apple everything, I did is address or is from, and I put the domain of groups.io, because anything that ends in groups.io is going to go into that folder. But you could put a full email address here, and it would only look for that specific email address. But say you have a company that you get email from multiple people. So let's say apple.com. You know, Tim Cook's never going to email me, and neither is any of the presenters at, the keynote. But say I did know them, and I wanted all their email to go into one folder. I would just put apple.com here, not a specific address. But because I want to make sure that the rule that I'm about to set up goes directly into that technology folder that I have created, I'm going to type TTJ, and I have my thing on words, that's why you're not hearing me type. Tech.
TTJ Tech.
.biz. That means anything that Matt sends me is going to go direct into my tech priority folder, which is what I'm about to select. So then you swipe to the right.
Action.
And you might notice that you're not hearing my swipes or my noise when I swipe. I turn that sound off. That's something you can do in voice settings, accessibility, voiceover, and sounds. It just makes my navigation a lot smoother. Personal preference.
Move to folder. Button.
And as you see, it already says move to folder, but let's see what our options are.
Move to folder and mark as read. Button. Move to trash and mark as read. Button. Forward to an email address and mark as read. Button.
But you heard the options.
Is. Forward to an email address and mark as read. Button.
Forward to an email address and mark as read.
Move to trash and mark as read. Button.
Move to trash and mark as read.
Move to folder and mark as read. Button.
Move to folder and mark as read.
Mark as read. Button.
Mark as read.
Forward to. Button.
Forward to.
Move to trash. Button.
Move to trash.
Selected. Move to folder. Button.
And mine is already selected, and it says move to folder. So that's what we're going to select.
TTJ. Text field. Message. Is from. Button.
Message is from.
Text field. Is editing. TTJ Tech Biz. Character mode.
That
Insertion
means
point
if
at end.
Matt emailed me from any of his ttjtech.biz addresses, whether it's info, shop, support, I don't know how many he has, but any of his email addresses that say that end in ttjtech.biz is going to go into this tech priority folder that I'm about to select.
Action. Move to folder. Button. Folder.
Now I'm going to, this is where you select the folder name.
Choose /setup. Button.
There it is. Choose/setup button. Double tap.
Inbox. Button. Add rule. Back button.
Inbox.
Choose a folder. Inbox. Button. Choose a folder. Heading.
All right, we're going to choose a folder.
Inbox. Drafts. Sent messages. Deleted archive. Apple everything. Button. Bills. Button. Deleted messages. Devotionals. Button. Domain tasks. Legal. Button. Notes. Button.
And as you can see, these are in alphabetical order.
Office materials. Button. Receipts. Button. Recipes. Button. Sent messages. Button. Streams. Button. Tech priority button.
Tech priority. Matt is a great trainer, knows a lot about tech, so I think this one fits. Tech priority for ttjtech.biz, the great Matt Valbridge. This is where we're going to send his email to.
TTJ text field. Message.
Now, let's go back and look at our attributes.
Cancel button.
So,
Add rule heading.
it says add rule, which we're already doing.
Done button. TTJ text field.
That's the title of the rule. It's called TTJ.
Message
Message
is from button.
is from
Text field is editing. TTJ tech biz. Insertion point at end.
ttjtech.biz.
Action.
The action will be,
Move to folder button.
we're going to move it to a folder. And what folders are going into?
Folder. Tech priority button.
Tech priority.
Q.
Now, all we got to do is go back up to the top.
Cancel button.
There's the cancel button. Swipe to the right.
Add rule heading.
There's the add rule. Just letting us know that's what we're doing.
Done button.
And there's the done button.
Done. iCloud mail back button.
So from now on, anytime I get a map from ttjtech.biz, it's going to go into my tech priority folder. That's also where I had John Panari's mail going to, and a couple other people that I get email from that I wanted to make sure didn't get deleted by accident or that I did not miss, because I have that folder on push. So I'm going to show you, I'm not going to create another one, but I'm going to go back and review a couple so you can see how it works. All mine are from the sender, but you can also do by subject. Say you wanted to say every time you got a recipe, chicken Alfredo, you wanted to go into a chicken Alfredo folder. That's what you would do. Again, you would hit new. You could name it. That's not required. It's only an option. But then you would have to select whether you wanted to be addressed to, from, subject, look in the CC field, or so on and so forth. Then you pick the way you want the rule to affect that mail that comes. So do you want to trash it? Do you want to have it marked as unread and be trashed? Do you want it to be forwarded? Whatever. So I pick move to, and then I pick the folder where I want it to go, save it, and I'm done. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's that straightforward. I think when you do it on the Gmail website, number one, they call their folders labels, but it is, pretty much the same. Moving. I don't know what their verbiage is, but that's what it's called, and you're essentially doing the same thing. But again, I think you can do it in the Gmail app on a phone. Don't ask me, because I don't use Gmail. I have a Gmail account because of my YouTube page and because I use Google Voice, but I don't send or receive mail from, well, I do receive some mail from there, and it's mainly from Google for security alerts and stuff like that, but it's not for mail. Nobody knows what my Gmail address is except Google, because I don't send from there. I only receive their advertisements for stuff like NFL Sunday Ticket and when I get a comment on my YouTube page and stuff like that. But other than that, it's iCloud only. As a matter of fact, I have a rule that shows, let's see, let me show it to you.
Only the first matching rule will add rule. TTJ. Riders. Child. City of apps 2. Move. RPM. Utilities. Gmail. Move messages addressed to gmail.com to streams folder. Button.
There it is. It says,
actions available.
Let's have it read it again.
Circle. Gmail. Move messages addressed to gmail.com to streams folder. Button.
Yep. So
actions available.
All my mail that comes from Gmail goes directly into the streams folder. So I forward all my Gmail to my iCloud. So I don't even have my Gmail account on my phone. It's signed into YouTube on my phone. It's signed into my YouTube Studio on my phone. But it's not signed into my Apple Mail, and I don't even have the Gmail app for email on my phone. So that is how Trainer Cliff sorts his mail so he doesn't have 839 new messages unread in his inbox like Trainer Matt. Thanks for joining.
Okay, folks, that concludes the sharing of the recording from Trainer Cliff. Let me stop the screen share. And if you are Hold on one second here. If you are listening online on our podcast, this is going to conclude today's session for you. So God bless you, and we will see you next week. For those who are live, we're going to go to our experience lab now.
Thanks for joining today's session. Didn't get your question answered? Have an additional comment or feedback? Email us info@ttjtech.biz or info@stiritup.com. And remember, stir is spelled with a U. That's STURITUP.com. Or check out our websites for additional resources. That's ttjtech.biz or stiritup.com. And remember, subscribe to the newsletter when you're there. That way, you don't miss out on any upcoming announcements or events. Thanks for joining us. God bless, and see you next time.